Cool.
Oh,
All
right.
right.
Yeah. That makes
Yeah.
life a
So
bit easier.
yeah. So like the first thing is obviously we want to be in a population where there's enough people searching for this stuff, because obviously if you're going in a small city, you can see here like probably one of these small ones like Princeton or something, it's not going to be a big enough city to go after. So let's look up the population of Philadelphia. So that's got 1.5 million. So that's a pretty big city as well. So you probably want something a little bit smaller. Again, you can target those bigger ones like I have with over here in Melbourne. Melbourne's like a 1.5 mil as well. So you can go after the big ones and it works really well. But I like to stick within that. There's a nice range of like 250,000 to 500,000 population is a really nice range to go after. So one of these ones out here, like York might. Let's have a check. Pretty small. Pretty small. Maybe Baltimore. And the cool thing about like Google Maps is, you can see some of the names are bigger than the others. So you can kind of tell like how big the cities are.
Get an idea. Yeah.
Yeah, just get an idea as you scroll around. So this one's probably better. So let's just do this one as an example. So Baltimore, it's a little bit over the ideal range, but it still can work really well. So next we put in here, Baltimore. It's not going to let me do it. Hang on. So I got to do a search first.
You see too.
Oh man. Did you say something?
Yeah. I said I've seen this keyword finder tool actually being sold independently, if I remember.
Oh,
Unless
maybe.
it's now just being branded under Mango. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not going to let me. My internet. Sorry, it's pretty slow.
No problem, man. No problem. So this is obviously, it's going to bring up obviously the ideas that you want to get the difficulty and obviously do a bit of competitor research, I'd imagine.
Yeah. So, we put in Baltimore, and then we're just going to start searching niches, and that's pretty much it. You're just going to do that for different cities, different niches, until you find one that clicks really nicely. So, as an example, let's go with bathroom or kitchen, actually. Kitchen remodeling. Baltimore. So the important thing is to always include the city at the end of the keyword that you're searching. And basically what this is going to do is it's going to be more specific to the city, because some people could be searching for kitchen remodeling, but not be in that city of Baltimore, right? So when someone's searching kitchen remodeling Baltimore, they're in that correct city. Because sometimes these tools can be a little bit inaccurate. Again, all of these numbers that it shows aren't totally 100% accurate. And that you'll find that with every tool. This is just to kind of get a rough idea. So that's like the main thing that we're looking for, is like a few of these metrics here. So this one I wouldn't go after. So you can look at a few different things here. So we've got the search volume. So that's how many people roughly per month are searching for that exact key term. So there's a few different key terms here. You can see there's a ton of different ones, kitchen refacing, modern kitchen cabinets, all these different ideas for keywords here that Mangles is going to give you. But then we obviously want to be targeting this main one. So if this main one isn't over at least 100, it's probably not worth going after, because there's not enough people searching for it. But again, for something high ticket like kitchen remodeling, you might only need to bring 2 to 3 leads a month to a business owner, and they're happy with that. You know what I mean? Because it's such a high ticket service.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the thing to match up is, high ticket and search volume. If it's lower ticket, you want a higher search volume. If it's higher ticket, you can get away with a lower search volume. So somewhere in the middle of, around 100 is usually a pretty average one for anything construction. Anything construction niche, home services, that kind of stuff. You're aiming for around 100, search volume per month. So the next one is the Google paid advertising stuff. So You've got the cost per click here. So that's the average cost per click. So how much the competitors who are using this keyword, how much they're paying per person who clicks on the ad. So you can see this is a pretty high one at $17. And the next one here is even higher at 23. And then we've got the pay per click competitions rating. So this is a rating that Mangle spits out of how hard it is to actually show up in that ads section on Google. So this is a really interesting one as well, because instead of Facebook ads, you can run Google ads, and I'll show you how to do that a bit later. And that's actually a really good strategy as well to bring in some of those fast leads, especially when this PPC rating is like under 20, under 10. I found some that are 0, and those absolutely crush it, because you can come in, you can start running Google ads, generating tons of leads, and not have to worry about the competition. You know, you're going to pay a low cost per click, and you're getting these really cheap leads coming in that are really high quality, because they're from Google.
Yeah.
So that's a really good one to look out for as well. And then we've got the keyword difficulty.
Okay.
So this is just like a very generic, you know, kind of rating that Mangles gives these keywords of how easy they think it would be to rank. Now here it says still easy. These are the rankings here. So it says still easy in this range here. I'd want to be aiming for something under 20. You know, even though Mangles says it's still easy, it's kind of a little bit difficult sometimes. But again, it does depend. You know, some niches you're still going to be able to rank. So I wouldn't really base too much off this at all. More so go by the search volume, and then what we'll go over next is these sites here. So this is like the sites that are already ranking there. So we've got the first one here, which is trademarkconstruct.com, and you can see that their link is /remodeling/kitchen-remodeling-contractor-Baltimore. So you can see it's a really long link, right? And basically what that means is it's not their homepage that's ranking. So that's a really important factor as well, because their homepage is going to have different metrics as opposed to their service pages. So this is one, it must be one of their service pages. So we can open it up and have a look. So this is the site trademarkconstruct.com, and this is like one of their homepages for kitchen remodeling in Baltimore. And you can see, you know, very simple. And this is kind of like the stuff we'll be going over when we build our site. It's the same kind of stuff, you know, with the contact form and phone number and stuff. But you can see that this isn't their main homepage. So if we go to their homepage here, we'll cut out this. We can actually check their metrics for their homepage and then compare it to the page that we're just on. And I'll show you how different they are. So give it a sec to load.
So I would imagine that if a website is ranking in the top 10 for not on their homepage, and it's like / one of their services page, that's probably like a good thing, because it's
yeah, so it's definitely a pretty good thing to look out for. But again, the metrics are going to matter a lot more than just that factor alone. So there's a few different factors that come into play with the ranking. Again, we'll go over a lot of that a bit later on. Just for now, I kind of want to just briefly cover the research side of things, and kind of what we're looking for. And then as we go along, you'll figure out more and more about, you know, things you can add into your research. So for now, it's just like very broad research. But as we go along, there's definitely some more factors that play into this. So, you know, this is their homepage, and the cool thing with the Mangles thing is they have this little extension you can click to check their metrics on the exact page. So that'll bring up some of the main metrics that, you know, is going to be really important for as we go along, and for backlinks and all this stuff. So this is really important as well. So we've got domain authority, page authority, citation flow, and trust flow. Now, people have mixed opinions about these, whether, you know, these two matter more than these two. I always look at citation flow and trust flow as more important than these two. So you don't really need to know what they mean. I mean, I still don't 100% know what these mean. I just know that the higher the numbers, obviously the better you're going to rank, and the, you know, more authority that your site has as opposed to other ones. So when Google's picking out these sites, if your site has a higher citation flow and a higher trust flow than the other sites, it's going to more likely show you up at the top. Now that's, again, just one factor of SEO.
Yeah.
There's a ton of different things that go into it. But this is definitely one of the big ones. This is one of the main ones. Backlinking is like probably the most important thing with SEO. And backlinking is what makes these metrics go up. So what makes so basically how backlinks work, actually we'll probably do that in a later video. It's pretty easy to do that. But yeah, so you can see their homepage here. If we click on show data for exact URL, that's going to show the exact homepage data here. So we've got 38 citation flow and a 15 trust flow. And another thing with this is there's a golden ratio with it. So you want to have a 1-to-1 ratio with your citation flow and trust flow. So every time, you look at a site, you want it to have as close to, so this one's 38 for citation flow. You'd want your trust flow to be as close to 38 as possible. Now, again, you can't directly impact that. It's through the backlinks that you add. So you don't really have too much control over it. But that's kind of just a little thing to add on there.
Okay.
Does that kind of all make sense a little bit?
Yeah. Like, I've got like a fairly good understanding of SEO. I just, it's just not something I've really implemented, for clients, and things like that. But I pretty much understand citations, and the trust flow is a little new to me, but I mean, I guess through having good citations, you're going to probably up your trust. So
yeah. Yep, exactly. So yeah, basically those are the two main things, like the citation flow and trust flow, and they're directly impacted by your backlinks and your citations. So those are the main things there. Now we'll go on backlinks like in more depth, because there's a few interesting things that I've found that really help with local. But for now, that's all you really need to know about citation flow, trust flow. So for their homepage, you can see it's 38.15. And then if we head back to the other page that we're on, it's going to be a totally different number. So open it up again. Show data for exact URL. And you can see it's a 32 and an 8. So it's different metrics. These are obviously the ones you want to be looking at, because this is the page that is ranking. But again, they're getting less, it's less authority because it's not their homepage, right? When a homepage is ranking, it's more authority in the search results. So that's definitely something, you want to keep in mind when you look through, these search results here, as to, who's up here. So then we can, look at some of the metrics that are here. We've got domain authority, page authority, citation flow, trust flow. So you can see it shows you here for the exact page. I just want to open it up, but you don't have to do that when you're searching through here. It makes it super easy to just look on here. But I just wanted to show you kind of what the tool looks like on Mangles as well, because that comes in handy, when you click onto a site and when you're actually looking on Google, right? Because you can do this search on Google. Now, if you have a VPN, that can help to change your location to Baltimore. And then you can look through the search results, and it's going to be more relevant because Google thinks you're actually in Baltimore. But if you don't have a VPN, that's totally fine. You can, just search anyway. It'll just show a little bit different results.
Cool.
So domain authority, page authority, citation flow, trust flow here. And then we've got links. So this is the number of external backlinks. So you can see this top site, because it's not their homepage, it's having 0 links to it, which is a really good thing to look at. When a page has 0 links pointing to it, that's a pretty good sign that you can outrank them. And especially because it's not their homepage, that's even better. So Facebook, you don't need to worry about that too much. That's just, how many Facebook likes their page has. That it's not really too relevant. And then we've got the link profile strength here, which is basically another ranking like this keyword difficulty, showing you how much authority this site has. Now, anything, yellow is probably a bit difficult to outrank. You'd want to aim for the ones that are the light green here, or the dark green here. Those are the easier ones to beat. So this keyword as a whole, I wouldn't go after, just because there's a lot of yellows going on here. And some of these sites do have a lot of links. But again, you want to keep in mind as well that anything that's a directory, so Home Advisor here is a big directory. You don't have to worry, just totally ignore that with every niche, because there's always going to be a home advisor in most of the home services niches. So you just got to ignore them because that, for one, their directories, they're always, not the exact homepage as well. So you'll find that you can easily outrank these all the time. They're so easy to outrank. It doesn't matter on what metrics they have, how many links they have. It's so much easier to outrank them because they're a directory. And when they're a directory, Google favors local sites over directories always. So they're easy to beat out. We don't have to worry about them. So Home Advisor here and Yelp, Angie's List and House, we don't have to worry about any of those. So you just do research on these four here. So Baltimore architect.org, Maryland kitchendesign.com, brotherservices.com, and this one at the top. So those are the four you do research on. So as a whole, this isn't a bad niche. I just wouldn't go after it because some of the, the sites that we are trying to beat do have yellow. So that would be an indicator to me that I wouldn't really want to go after them. But other than that, it's a really
quick
good
question.
niche.
Okay. So you say it's okay. Obviously, there's a lot of yellow. I get that, but the fact that there are 4 essentially directory sites on this page, that could also mean that maybe there's still a decent chance you could rank on it because it's got all of it. Like you say, I mean, if the local sites were doing really, really well and putting in a lot of time and effort and money into their backlinking structure, you probably wouldn't have as many of these directories on the page because they would just, Google would favor the ones that are actually putting in the time and effort.
Yeah, definitely. That's a very good point. And that, yeah, you could definitely go after this niche. That's the thing. But what I'm looking for when I research is the easy wins. Because obviously we want to be hitting these targets as quick as possible. So if I can find a niche that has easier to rank than this, I'd want to be going after that first, right? And the cool thing about doing this research, right, we can keep this on file. Although the search volume is slow, it is a high ticket niche, so we could keep this on file. And that's why I wanted to share these documents with you. This is basically where we track all our sites, right? So, if we find a niche that we like, we can chuck the niche in here, chuck the location in, chuck the search volume, and chuck the keyword difficulty in. And then as we go, if we like the niche, we add keywords in if we like it, and then it's ready to go, right? So I'll go over this sheet a bit more detail as we go through the research a bit more. But just for now, like that's all you really need to know about it is that, if you find a niche that you think might be good, you can pop it on the sheet, come back to it later after you've had a look through a ton of different other ones and then kind of pick out the ones that are easier first.
Yeah. No, I'm totally with you, man. Like, I like that approach because I think ultimately, money loves momentum, and I would like to obviously get those quick wins, get money coming in, and then like later on, then I can play the long game. Like, hey, this is a tough niche, but I'm prepared to let it rank for 6 months because I know it's going to be like a huge return on investment later. But at the start, obviously, you want to hit it really fast and get those quick wins. So, like, I completely get that approach.
That's it. Exactly right. Got to move with speed. So,
yeah.
All right. So that's that. All right. I left out this one here. So this one's how much like estimated views they're getting on their website from that keyword. So from this keyword, you can see it's saying 31. So they're getting roughly, 31 clicks through to their website from being in that top spot on this one keyword, which has a 90 search volume, which isn't too bad, right? That's 31 potential, calls that they could be bringing in. Obviously not everyone who clicks the website is going to call the website. That's just the way it is with Google, but that's a pretty good estimate to see if you're in the top spot here, how many roughly, clicks to your website you could be getting.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So that's basically the research piece, roughly, and you'll just kind of go through and look at all these different sites, look at some of these metrics, see which ones. I'll try and show you one. Let's go. I'll try and find one that's a more of a low hanging one. So just so you can kind of see what it looks like. So I know there's a lot in Melbourne because there's not really too much competition. And again, you can pick, Australia, US, you can do New Zealand lead gen sites if you want to, this thing is so open everywhere. And it really does work everywhere because everyone's searching Google, right? Everyone who has internet connection and a computer or a phone is searching Google for services. So it really is just a worldwide thing, you can do. So let me grab. Whoa. This one's pretty competitive. So another way you can find if you like run out of ideas for niches, because you can get pretty creative with them. There's some really interesting ones that you never would have thought of, right? For example, one of the ones that I found the other day was rubber flooring. You know, at playgrounds and stuff, you know, they put like the rubber play mats and rubber
Yeah.
flooring in there. And that's a really, you know, unique, interesting niche that I probably never would have thought of. So you can find some interesting ideas just by even
Yeah.
going to some of these directories, right? So, you know, if you go to Home Advisor or High Pages or, you know, any of the directories, you know, they're going to list all of the services that they have on there that they get leads for, basically. So you can go that way. This will load. Browse all categories. Yeah, so here you have a ton of different categories, right? You know, this is like a bunch of different stuff that you could use as niches, right? There's a ton of things here. So we've got patios. We could do.
Jeez,
We
yeah.
could search for like patio builders. We could search for deck builders. We could search for, you know, window installation. And then there's all these different kinds of windows that we can use as, you know, keywords. So people might be searching for double glazed windows, you know, window repairs, all this. There's a ton of stuff you can find on here. But again, if you just go to some of the different directories, you'll find a ton of different ideas for niches. And the reason I like searching the directories as well is because they only have high ticket services on there. Most of these services are pretty
Yeah.
high ticket. They're not going to have, you know, dog grooming or something weird like that. You know what I mean? It's going to be, you know, reputable niches that are actually making money out there. Otherwise, they wouldn't have them on there. So
Yeah.
that's kind of a really
For
good place
sure.
to look for niche ideas. And then again, just using your sheet,
Yeah,
just
that's very cool. I like that.
add some things in there, add the niches in, add the location, and you can go through. And the cool thing about it is like, it's not just, it doesn't come down to just one niche and one location. Like you can change both up. So you could search for landscaping in Brisbane, but you could also search for landscaping in Melbourne. And you can also search for electrician in Melbourne and electrician in Brisbane. Like you mix and match them
Yeah.
until you find those, you know, the low hanging fruit combinations. So this one here is a little bit
Gotcha, man.
lower. This is a good one here. So bricklaying Melbourne, you see it's got 370 searches. Cost per click super low, $2. The PPC is pretty low as well. It's under 50. And most of the pages here are all green. You can see. So we've got
Yeah.
directory. So there's literally only one site here that's showing up. So this is a really easy one to go after. And you know, it'd be pretty simple to rank in this one, and you'd get a lot of search volume coming in through your site. Now High Pages here has a pretty high dominance for this one. So they might be a little bit trickier to outrank just because they've probably been there for a long time. Because again, one of the main factors with ranking in this is age. That's another factor that Google takes into play. It usually shows some of the older sites first, as opposed to, you know, some of the newer, younger sites. So age is just something you can't fake
Yeah.
with Google, and that's why, you know, a 1 to 3 month time frame is usually just to build up some age on the site, so it's not a totally brand new thing coming into the marketplace.
And just one or two questions. So something that sort of struck me, if I look at the part on the left where you type it in, you've got keywords, for example, bricklaying Melbourne, and
Yep.
then under your cost per click, like here it's $2.
Yep.
Previously, I forget the niche we were looking in, but it was like $17.
Yep.
Like, do you ever use this in your say something's got a $17 cost per click? Like you could say, it's probably going to take 10 clicks for someone to click on your phone number on your website. So you're looking at $170 before someone phones you. But like, I'm only going to charge you like $50 for like a phone call. Or like, I'm just trying to see if you use any of this data to help you structure the way that you sort of pitch the person. Because I know you're showing just the research aspect, but so as I'm going through your course, which is amazing, by the way, yours is about how to get clients, but I was wondering specifically, like, how do you actually pitch someone? Like, do you charge them cost per, pay per call, or do you just charge them like a flat 500? Like, how do you determine what you charge them, and how do you like position that?
Yeah, so that's when it's really, you have freedom, right? You have the freedom to pitch how you want and pitch what you want. So you can go a pay per lead deal. The only thing with that is you'd want to have some kind of tracking system in place, as opposed to just sending them leads and set and forget. You'd want to make sure that each lead that's coming through, are they paying you for a closed lead? Are they paying you for every lead? How's that going to work? Are they paying you on a commission basis? Like, you got to work out what kind of deal you're looking for, and realize that the easiest deal that can be made is always going to be the most hands-free one, which is just a monthly upfront fee that they pay every month. You send them however many leads, and that's that, right? So tons of different ways to pitch it, and you could definitely use some of this data, right? If you can show them, hey, people are paying this much just to get someone to click onto the website. Wouldn't you like to have the pay us for leads that are coming through, not people clicking on your website? It's totally different. So you can 100% use this data to pitch. There's tons of ways to go about it, man. That's the thing with sales. It's so unique, and marketing as a whole is so unique. And that's what I think, there's so many different ways you can stand out from everyone else pitching.
Yeah, no, because I guess the part that like I'm not sure about is, and again, I know this is not exactly what this is about, but I did want to ask this. I wrote this down before. It's like, if I sign a client for say $1,000 up front, and that means I've got a pre-sold lead gen, I'm going to build out the sites, I'm going to run some Facebook ads, for example, bring in some leads immediately. Like, let's say in 2 months' time, month 2, he gets 2 phone calls. Is he going to be willing to pay $500 for the month for 2 phone calls? Like, because I understand it's obviously still got to like build up a little bit. So that's the part that was confusing me, is to like, how do you stop the client from being like, well, I'm paying you 500, but it's only brought in 2 phone calls this month. And then you're like continuously trying to say, okay, but like next month it'll be better, or whatever the case is. Like, just wasn't sure how you navigated personally around that.
Yeah, man. So there's a lot covered in, there's a bit covered in the course. So if you go through more of the course, there's a bit covered on that, how we pitch and the bit of the sales process, right? So that'll really help you as well.
Okay.
What I'll do as well is I'll organize a phone call with you to talk with Tom, who's my business partner, and he is really good at sales. So he'll have a lot of tips about the whole process and just how to interact and pitch the deal, because that's really what it comes down to, is how you're going to pitch this thing and how you really sell it. So I'll get that organized, but again, that's in the course as well. So I think what we'll do is we'll go through the research piece first, and then it's probably more important you find a couple niches and you follow along with the training, the course material of how to set up the Facebook ads, because then what you can do is you can research a few niches, find a few good ones. I'll send you this tracking sheet as well, so you'll be able to track them on your sheet. Cool. Stay all organized, stay all on top of it. And then from there, what you'll do is you'll set up your Facebook ads, start getting some leads coming in, start talking to these business owners. And then, we'll go from there of improving your process of sales, because if we can't nail the sales process, there's no point doing this rank and rent, the rest of the rank and rent stuff. So nailing that sales process is going to be vital. Because if we can land you a client as quickly as possible, then you get to move on to the building side of things. And that's what we want, right? Because as soon as we've got some money in the bank, we've got something to fund things. And that's the exact point we're trying to get to. So that's the way I want to go about it. Because I think that's going to benefit you the most.
Perfect, man.
Awesome. All right. So that's basically research in a nutshell. You're going to kind of want to look around different niches, different cities, until you just find a bunch of these good ones. And then just adding them onto your sheet. Again, this doesn't have to take a long time. Like, we get VAs to do this for us. They come in, they do all the research, they add it to the sheet. We don't have to touch anything, right? They know exactly what they're looking for. It's very simple. It's just basically what I've just shown you. So that's all it is. It doesn't have to be any more complicated than people make it. Again, we're just looking for something with a higher search volume. Again, it depends on whether it's high ticket, low ticket. There's a few factors, right? So
Yes.
high ticket, low ticket, search volume, and then we're looking for that citation flow, trust flow to be pretty low, as well as the level of backlinks that someone has pointing to their site. Because if they have a ton of different backlinks pointing to their site, it shows that they have someone doing their SEO. So that's just a fight we don't really want to get into unless we have to, right? So
yes,
that's kind of the basics of research there, man. Yeah, did you have any questions about anything?
That all makes sense. That makes sense. It actually makes perfect sense, and I get that it's not an exact science. You've got to kind of read between the lines, but I mean, taking into account all the different factors you've been through, you can kind of get like a holistic sort of perspective on which ones are better to go after and which ones are maybe better left alone for now, at least.
That's it. Yeah, exactly right. And that's the thing with SEO. It's never 100% set in stone. So unfortunately, you just have to kind of take it at face value and be like, hey, look, this looks half decent. I reckon I could probably rank in this, and that's kind of what you got to go off.
Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I'll go sign up to the tool and start getting some of those green ones, man.
Yep, that's it. Look for those green ones. You see on my sheet here, I don't have any yellows. So I just have stuck with everything that's light green, dark green. These light green ones are absolutely fantastic, man. Like those are the ones that you can really rank in really quick. So for example, I'll just show you some of our sites, like and I'll show it here as well. Tap the wrong thing here. So this is one in landscaping in Geelong. So you can see, obviously, we have the ad section, we've got the map section. I haven't done anything with this GMB yet, so that's why nothing's showing up there. But you can see this is our site here. So it's number 3 at the moment. And this is a really easy niche, right? So 16, even the PPC is pretty good to go after. It's got 150 search volume. It's a really broad niche as well. So when people are searching, there's a ton of different search terms that come through. So you can see we've got within landscaping, there's a ton of different services that fall under that. So to rank for the main keyword landscaping is actually pretty difficult for most places. So we've been able to do it for this one. Well, we're third. We're still working our way up. But you can see the metrics here, right? Even just looking at the metrics, you can kind of see, the difference between everything, right? So we've got our site here, which has 15 DA, 25 PA. It's got a 32 citation flow and a 27 trust flow. So that's a pretty good balance there. We've got more than 4,000 links, 4,000 backlinks pointing to this site. So a ton of backlinks, because these virtual assistants that I have doing all the backlinking, it just happens automatically, right? And they just stack up over time. And eventually that's going to overtake all of these sites here. The only thing I would say that's holding this in position 3 and not putting it number 1 is age, right? These sites have been around for way longer. Actually, yeah, that's another tool. I got to get you to get is, this is a free extension. It's called, what's it called? Oh, this one here, SEO Quake. It's a free extension. Write that one down. That one will be really handy. I'll show it in a sec. Once this loads. So this is the top site that's ranking for that keyword, and they actually live down just the road from me. So, so you can see this bar at the bottom here. It's kind of covered, but this is showing like a few different things. So you can see it shows one thing here is the age. So it's saying the site was made in 2009, which is 11 years ago. So it's got some age on it, right? And that's like one of the main
Yeah.
things that, you know, it's almost impossible to beat Google at age, right? So there's a
Yeah.
few workarounds you can do. You can buy expired domains. That's another cool one you can do. But again, this is kind of stuff we move into when we get into the building phase of things. But just briefly,
Mhm.
let's go over this quick. Actually, I think it's .net.
Oh, yeah, I've used the site quite a bit. Yeah, expired domains.
Yeah, it's good. Hey,
It's
it's a good one.
fantastic, man. Yeah, I've actually, it was so long ago, so I've forgotten exactly how to like use the metrics. But obviously, the idea is that you get a domain that's got some age and authority on it already.
Yeah, so like we just show the filter. I like to try find something that has at least a city or a keyword in it, because that's another thing that's going to come in handy when we rank, when we're like playing around with building our site. Is we want to have something that has, like, ideally the main keywords, right? Because when people are searching for that keyword, your site has more relevance because the domain name is actually that name. So it's a cheeky little hack that people do. So for that site I was just showing you that we built, it's called Landscape Geelong. So if people search for Landscape Geelong, I'd say it's probably showing up first. Yeah, it's showing up first because the actual domain name is Landscape Geelong. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah,
another big thing it comes to, and you can see we're beating out this site just because of the domain name. You know, they might have
yeah,
the age
yeah,
advantage, but we've got the domain name advantage. So that's another, you know, the way to kind of look at it is you're just looking to outrank, right? You're looking to outcompete the people that are
yeah,
already there. Just be that little bit better than them in some way, you know, with looking at all the different factors, and just kind of like seeing how you can be better. So yeah, you buy like an expired
yeah,
domain with a little bit of age, maybe even some metrics, some you know, citation flow, trust flow on it would be nice. And then yeah, just use that as a starting point to get some age, and also get, you know, if you can, the relevance, right? So if we search for landscaping, let's see if anything comes up. So we've got only two, and you know, they're not really nice names. Landscaping Lake Elsinore. And what you can do as well is one cheeky thing I've done before is actually search this. So search Landscaping Lake Elsinore in here. But if it's
mhm,
doesn't come up in here, there's no point. But I've actually found some nice niches doing that. So Lake Elsinore in California, search for landscaping
yeah.
and see if it's a niche.
Ah,
And
then you know you've got the domain already. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't go after this one. This one looks, actually, no, that's not bad because it's, I mean, they all look like directories, but they do have high authority. That'd be I don't know, that's an iffy one. It's an iffy one because if there is a lot of directories in there, you know, that could mean like no one's really going after it because it's not worth it, or you never really know because this search volume hasn't been really consistent. It's been like 50, 70, and pretty low.
Yeah.
And again, that's just
Very clever. I
landscaping.
like that. I like that little. Yeah, I like that little. And then with domain names, like let's say, so you're in Oz. You want to compete, you know, in Australia. Do you worry too much about, you know, .co.au or like just straight.com, or you more
Yeah,
worried about like the actual contents of the domain, like the words?
yeah. See, I've worried about it before. I don't know. We've never really used .aus. And we've been fine with it. But I feel
Okay.
like if we did have .com.au, they might perform better. But I haven't tested it. I know a few people who do .com.aus and say it's better. So I don't know. I guess it's all interpretation. I mean, it's the same anyway, really. If you're using a .com, you know, it's probably better to use the more local one that they're using. Like, you know, for example, if you're in Canada, it's .ca. You know, that's the more local one that they
Yeah.
use. The only thing with that is
Yeah.
you'd need a Australian business number to have a .com.au. So obviously we can because we have an ABN, but you know, for someone operating outside of Australia, they won't be able to get an ABN, so they wouldn't be able to have .com.aus. And that's why it's good to stick in the United States because everything in the United States is .com. That just keeps everything super
Yeah.
simple,
Yeah.
you know, super easy.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, interesting. Then. Yeah, this is rad. Yeah, it's a ton of value right up front. I'm quite excited to go and yeah, like I said, found that green, man. It's kind of like gives you like a little like excitement boost when you load the page and you just see like green. You're like, yeah,
Yeah. No, that's spot on. That's exactly
yeah,
what it is. It's like, you know, you see some nice dark green ones and you're like, oh yes, hit the jackpot.
yeah, yeah. This is working.
That was me one
Yeah.
time.
Okay,
I
cool,
found
man.
something with a I was like 2000 search volume and the PPC was 0. And I was like, oh, jackpot.
What 2000? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
crazy.
guess like you say, man. I've looked at your research, and I mean, obviously you could do it quite quickly, but like I would definitely at the start want to go after like the absolute lowest especially like for my first one. You know what I mean? So I'll spend more time doing it, and I can always get better, but I want to start with the easiest, the least hurdles.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right. So yeah, man, look, the action step from this is to go out, get mangles, and then
Mhm.
just start doing some research. Obviously, I'll send you the tracking sheet over so you can make a copy of this into your Google Drive. I just find everything, if you keep it into a Google Drive folder, it'll make it so much easier to track everything. So I'll just show you mine really briefly. Um, I've got a bunch of other stuff in there, but you'll just have your backlink tracking folder, you'll have your site build tracking folder, citations tracking, and then research tracking. And those are like the main 4 folders that you'll have. So just one for like kind of each part of the
Mhm.
process. And then in your site build tracking, you'll have your site tracking document. These are just copies of it, which is this. So you just track all your niches on here. And yeah, just add if the PPC is below, I do mine below 40, I think it is. So all of these green ones here, it means that we would be able to run Google ads. So it's good. Like when I set up the Facebook ads to generate some clients for this, I can come into the sheet. I can be like, okay, cool. For this niche, I could run Google ads, and then I have more opportunities to
Yeah.
go after if I want some upfront leads. You know what I mean? So even if I don't close an upfront deal with some clients, I can start generating some leads on my own money and then be like, hey, look, I got leads coming in. Let's close a deal. So instead of it just
Yeah.
being selling the rank and rent side up front, I'm selling leads up front. So there's no mention of the rank and rent side at all. And then in the back end, the
Yeah.
rank and rent site kicks in and takes over the Google AdWords because it's the same thing. It's just Google AdWords you're paying to be up there. Rank and rent you're not paying to be up there. So that's kind of the
Yeah.
difference
Yeah.
there.
Gotcha, man. And I guess with like the Google ads, although like you say, you might spend a little bit up front, as opposed to just pre-selling a lead gen. The thing is that as soon as you get a client, he's basically paying you monthly right away
Yeah.
because you've already got leads coming in.
Yep.
So, so yeah, no, I like both approaches. So
Yep.
there's a lot you can do.
Exactly. And another really
Cool,
cool
man.
thing as well. Oh man, I'm probably jumping ahead. I keep jumping ahead because I'm so excited with this stuff. I just want to like tell you
No,
everything.
go for
But
it, man.
yeah, so another really cool thing as well is like if you have these leads coming in and you can't find a client for it. Like for example, one of our sites, it was a carpet cleaning site. We can't find anyone to take the leads because there's not many people in the area that do the service, right? So what we do is we can actually sell the leads to the directories, which is really, really smart because you're getting paid for these leads if they're not getting sent anywhere. So basically, you're always in profit, right? Whether you're generating these leads for a client or you're generating these leads from a rank and rent and don't have a client yet, you're still in profit because you can send these leads back to the directories and they'll buy them off you because they send them out to people, right? So because they have more connections and they know more business owners. So they're
Yeah,
always going to
yeah.
find someone to take the leads.
That's insane. Because that's actually one of the biggest problems is that like, it's made to sound so simple, like, just rank a site and then, just phone a business owner. But then, what if you don't? You've wasted all the time and money. So that's
Mm.
insane. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, man, I got a
Mm.
ton of cool tips you'll really love with this stuff. But yeah, man, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today. I don't want to like overdo it. Just kind of like keep it really set on research at the moment, just so you don't get distracted by too much.
Yeah. And no, I appreciate that. So, and that's like the way my brain works as well. If there's too much, I'm probably going to take less action. So just little bite-sized steps, go through it. And yeah, I think, as soon as I've gone through the research, found a few, I kind of know now what I can structure my Facebook ads around. start talking to business owners, and then if when I get one, it'll just be like a baptism by fire. Just suddenly I've just got to get it going now. But that's the best way, man. I don't want to have everything perfect first. I just want to like just jump in, man. Just get going.
That's it. Exactly right. And that's why I'm here, man. Like I know how to do all these build outs and stuff. So like worst case scenario, if you don't want to do the build out, like I can help you with that. We can work out something there. But again, like, man, I'm here to like teach you and coach you on this stuff. So best way to learn is quickly and by failing. So just got to dive in and do it.
Yeah, 100%, man. Well, cool. Thanks again. Thanks for the time. And I'll just keep you updated on where I'm at. And then whenever we feel like the next time to I don't know if you want to put like a structure, or we just keep in touch on Facebook and just decide when the next time to chat would be. I'm happy either way, man. So
yeah, awesome. I think it'd be cool to keep it a little bit open, just like, when you're ready for the next call, you're ready. Sometimes
yeah.
I know I'm probably going to I'll send you all this stuff to go through as well eventually. Probably not now. Just stick with the research stuff. I'll send you through this sheet, and yeah, when you think you're ready to jump on the next call, just let me know and we'll work something out.
Perfect, man. That's absolutely perfect with me.
Awesome sauce. All right, dude. Well, I'll send that over to you now. Do you have an email you prefer?
Yeah. It's the same one, I think, for the Zoom link. It's the Burnsy1402 at gmail.com. I can type it in here if you want.
Yeah. Just type it in there. I'll send this over.
Okay.
Cool. Alrighty, that's that. I'll
Perfect, man. Yeah. Okay, sorted.
all right, dude. Well, have a nice day, and I'll just stay in touch
man.
and let me know, how you're going with everything. If you need any questions answered, just let me know and I'll be there.
Perfect, man. Thanks again, bro.
All good. I'll catch you later.
Cool, man. Take it easy, man. Cheers, eh? Bye.